Hey,
Hello, hello, hi. Hey, Axel.
he's busy snacking. Don't drop
So cute. Oh God, I love him.
it. He melts my heart every time I look at him. The other
Yeah.
day I came home and he's literally like, whoop, hopping straight, just like, just like all over, and she's like, whoop, it's like a
Like
little
excited to
jump.
see you. Oh,
Yeah,
that's so sweet. I
so
don't
funny.
know. I might need to get a bunny. Getting fallen in love.
So, what topic are we gonna do today? Um, I guess, how did we get here?
Mm. How did we get here? How did we get here, Stephanie?
By being too busy, too tired, too complacent, not questioning, um, being stuck in the system, um, and not really seeing what was going on, and being manipulated by the system so that we weren't able to see it. So, um, the one thing to remember is really not to place fault, um, so much as to just acknowledge it and do right going forward.
Yeah, that's saying like when you know better, you do better.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting at that point now because it isn't entirely our fault, you know. You knew, I mean, I knew there was something crazy going on in the world. There was just so much of it I didn't like, and I didn't really know why. But I knew something was terribly wrong. And I just sort of chalked it up to the fact that some people are crazy. That wasn't entirely wrong. Handful of real crazy people on this planet, but it wasn't a normal thing, is what I'm trying to say. And I did kind of accept it as being normal. And then I felt so weird and completely out of place because I was like, this is not normal and I don't fit in and I don't want to fit in. I don't like any of this.
Yeah. I never fit in. I was always like the outsider. I was fine with that, you know. It was like, and I never trusted the government. But my problem was I didn't pay attention. Like I was just like, I hate politics. I don't want any part of it. And so, you don't really research it the way you should to actually see, what is going on there.
I knew
Because
a
I
lot
think,
of things were really, really bad, but I also really, really didn't think I had any power to change that.
yeah,
And it's like I was telling a friend of mine too, it's not just that, you woke up one day and you have all the power in the world to change. It's literally like it's a collective consciousness that has to rise to the occasion because then you start saying, we're not going to do that, you know,
yeah,
to ourselves, to anything. And it's coming so quickly now that we're starting to realize we don't have to do things the way we've been doing them in almost
yeah,
every aspect of our lives, which is pretty amazing.
yeah. Because I think before, if you tried to speak out, it was like you were like the one salmon trying to swim
Yeah,
upstream and you were getting
definitely.
picked, you know. But now, if we all rise up together and say we're not taking, like that movie Network, I'm mad as hell and not gonna take it anymore. You know, that enough generates enough energy to like fight back and say, hey, you know,
It's a real paradigm shift at a very collective level at this point, which is where all the power lies. And it's kind of incredible because I can't really believe it's happening, you know? Before it
yeah,
really wasn't like that. I mean, I remember uh not just being outcast, but feeling somewhere in my being that I couldn't really say what was on my mind. And then also me suppressing other people because I just wanted it to end. I wanted it to be okay. And I wasn't alone in that. A lot of us did that.
Yeah.
Because we felt so powerless. And now it's like no one's doing that anymore. And it's really amazing and wild.
Yeah.
I
But
almost can't believe it's
it's
happening.
also like it's it's shocking to see the extent of the corruption.
Mm.
I mean, it infiltrated everything.
I had no
So
idea it was that bad.
I didn't know either. I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. And I always thought, well, yeah, we can fight it or whatever, but it's like if every system is corrupt, how do you fight it? And the only way you do fight it is in the numbers.
I think the most astonishing thing for me is the energetics of it, which also is the thing that gives me the most hope
Yeah.
for the power of the ability to change it. Is it that it is an energetic? It's like, wow, I never thought that would, because when you do boots on the ground and guns in the face, I mean, this is a very different kind of
Yeah, no,
uh,
it's yeah,
very intimidating, which
yeah.
is what they always want to do, which is why they create wars. This very small group of people who do this to make money, it's all about that, because that's the only language that they
But
speak.
I'm speaking in terms of like standing up to the school board, standing up to the medical association, standing up to your local politicians, and just once you see the corruption, you can't unsee it. So
Mm-hmm.
you're almost obligated to stop it. And I think that's where we're at now. That we're not
Mm-hmm.
going to go back because we've seen too much, and too many people have seen too much already.
Yeah, so true. Wow. And I think we were talking about this in another one of our chats. Largely, we got here by not facing the darkness
Right.
um, head on and saying, this is happening, this is wrong. And again, there's a tremendous amount of fear in that when you feel so powerless, but we're no longer
Mhm.
powerless.
No.
No, and it's an energetic. There's something in us that's actually risen to the occasion, and we're incredibly unified more than ever before. If you really look at it, you might not think that, but I feel it definitely now.
What's kind of interesting is bad guys kind of pushed us into this. So they were what they were using against us turned around and is being used against them now because they pushed it in such idiotic ways. Like they got careless and they got like, and it's like, well, it's like my biggest thing is like, they really think we're stupid. They really think we're stupid with some of the stuff they've come out with and said. And I'm like, how is that not insulting to your intelligence? And how are you not going to like speak out against it?
And
It's
they've repeated it because they do the same thing all the time
yeah,
because they have no creativity or
one
imagination.
playbook. It's like
Mhm.
a I guess it's a well, yeah, it's like a ritual.
It's like a dummy's manual,
Yeah.
the idiot's manual. Hey, hand me the book. What's the next one I'm supposed to do? And they keep doing this. It's just
Pinky in
absolute
the brain.
crap.
Pinky in the brain. And
Yes,
I'm thinking like how to take over the world. For
totally
dummies.
Pinky. It's Pinky in the brain. 100%. Yeah. Yep. You nailed it.
All right.
Because they just don't have the capacity to create anything. It's just
Yeah,
not,
because
they are not of creator.
they're
It's
too
not
negative.
part
They're
of
too,
their
they're
energetic
too,
field.
too much in the darkness. Yeah, that they can't see any of that.
I'm just so glad it's finally become funny and that the joke is actually on them now because it was
Yeah,
pretty terrifying half the time, you know.
yeah. Look up the Georgia Guidestones and look up the World Economic Forum with their plan for Agenda 2020. Then they had to change it to 2030 because it got a little delayed because of certain people that got into office that they thought wouldn't get into office. And
Mhm.
um
Yeah, and the Georgia Guidestones are gone.
yeah,
And a lot of people, it's astonishing to me, don't even know what that was.
I know.
I mean, check it out. It's
And
definitely
what
worth reading through because it'll tell you everything that they are. I mean, they spell it all out there for you. And they're,
it's so weird. It almost looks like it's a mini Stonehenge in a way.
yeah.
Like, why would you write it in stone, and why would it have that formation? Like, was it on a portal that we don't know about? Who knows? An
Hmm.
end portal.
We may find out.
Yeah.
Um, it's just so incredible that it's gone. And then apparently hit with some kind of lightning and then just bulldozed the very next day, which
Can
is
we say
just,
can we say DEW?
I think we can. The morning dew, is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about?
No.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing and it's gone and it's not, it's not been rebuilt. And if that
Yeah.
were all still happening, it would have been rebuilt in a day,
Oh,
but it's not happening anymore. So that was a moment of incredible hope. And I think that's also part of why I'm feeling so much more connectedness, unity, strength, like things are really changing because of things like that too. That was an amazing thing this year,
I think some
past year.
structures forward are going to need to be like, those planes that drop water on the forest fires. I think they're going to have to drop a whole bunch of holy water on certain sites and monuments so people come to
Yeah, there
know.
there are constructs that are very unhealthy for human mentality, physicality, and everything else. They have been constructed in destructive energy, and so it's like they're going to have to go. How that's going to happen, we'll see.
I don't know.
The
I like to
dismantling
see
of that, but
like to see the UN dismantled for sure,
mm,
and that room that they have.
yeah, and that's been largely countries extracting themselves from it too. Again, energetics, like when you leave that and say we're no longer doing this,
Mhm.
we're not in your club,
Yeah.
it ends. So that will be an interesting, I think we will see that both energetically and then actually physically.
Yeah. And
It's
then
going to be so interesting.
it's going to be interesting. But we also there's a lot of I don't know if they went in unknowingly or they were victims of it. Um, it's just the life they knew. So once you're in it, it's hard to get out of it, and so we kind of have to um I still pray for the ones that are
You-
trapped and are trying to get out.
You're talking about good people in a bad system.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. I think people have to really keep that in mind, because it's not just, who did they say? Somebody said really brilliantly, well put, bought and paid for, and don't underestimate bought and paid for. That can often mean blackmailed, and they'll come after your kids if you don't do what they
Oh yeah.
say. So
Yeah.
this is really like that kind of thing also.
Yeah.
Um, it's going to take a tremendous amount of awareness on everyone's part. And, again, back to the topic today, which is, how did we get here? By not being aware. How do we get where we want to go? We know better, we do better.
Yeah. Goes hand in hand.
Yeah. And if we get lost, we turn around and we see Axel, and he helps us.
Gotta see you see him head on.
Like he's just like, just hop on, hop along, kids.
One ear forward, the other one back, like taking it all in.
He is my guy.
We doing
Love
okay?
him.
Are we doing okay? Yeah, we're doing okay. Steer or the rabbit, right? Yeah.
Well, thanks. And that was a cool topic. It's fun.
How do we get here? And maybe the next topic will be how do we go forward?
Oh, that's a good one. We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, see you next time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.